everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if it's your very first time here, hi. My name is Missa. Welcome, subscribe, do all that jazz, follow me on Instagram. So as you can see by the title, we've got a really exciting video today. Today I'm going to be playing with everything from the new Morphe x Jeffree Star collaboration. I actually wasn't going to get this, I had no intention of getting this, and then everyone kept hyping me up like you all do, and you're like, are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? You have to get it, you're going to get it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get it. And then the day it launched, I was like, I gotta get it. Anyway, I'm now actually on a no buy, not buying anything else until 2020. So I thought, screw it, let's get everything. So altogether, all 4 items cost me £113 and something and some change. Before that was with the Jeffree Star affiliate code. 4 things in this collection. We have the Morphe Jeffree Star 30 pan eyeshadow palette. This is a really nice mix of warm tones, a couple of cool tones, but mostly warm tones. Then we have the 10-piece eye brush collection, which comes in a makeup bag as well, which I thought was quite handy. Then we have the 3 sponges. There is a big one and then 2 mini sponges. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, I know that's not the way you say it, we have the Starberry Set and Refresh Makeup Setting Mist. I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but everything is bright pink. The sponge box is down there, so I can't get it. Everything is bright pink, little tacky maybe, but I quite like it. So yeah, we're gonna do what we always do with these testing videos. We are going to start off with swatches. We're then gonna go into the tutorial, and then we're gonna give our final thoughts at the end of the video. But I'm fannying around far too much, hate myself talking, so let's just jump straight into the swatches. Gonna have to get naked because this is not very loose, and then we'll get into the other parts. Okay, bye, I'm gonna go. Okay, slipped into something less glamorous. You know what I do? I swatch down this side of my arm. So let us start. I'm just gonna go row by row, hopefully fit on a couple each row. No primer, nothing, and I just swatch my fingers. I'm not like Stephanie and Nicole, I can't do it all fancy. So that is welcome back. Oh, that's such a pretty colour. To my, oh that's gorgeous, I didn't use that today, channel Wand Noise. I think that's probably the ugliest shade in the palette. That's just my opinion. I hate sparkly oranges. Don't know why, just think they're super gross. Then we've got Lynn 1985. I hope my lighting is not wrong for this. We've got Mogul Self-Made. I will say on most of these mattes that I'm swatching, when you like rub your finger in it to pick up pigment, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you because it might just all fall. See how like chunks kind of come off. I'm not rubbing especially hard or anything. Then we've got Dog Mum and Honest Truth. So that's the first 2 rows of the palette, and that is all a bit closer. Sorry, I should have said this earlier as well. It's not an eyeshadow palette, it's like a pigment palette, or what they've said is an artistry palette on the front of it. It just means that some of them are pressed pigments because it is vegan. So as opposed to Carmine, which is crushed up little beetles, not that I mind bugs getting killed, but still, they use dyes that can leave staining. Designer Label. That looks way too dark there to be a highlight, but it is what I'm wearing. Mr. Diva. Boss Angeles. Ooh. Pink Fleet. Calabasas. Don't know her. Rolls with it. Millions. This will probably swatch. Oh, not too badly. It's a loose glitter, pressed glitter, so it's quite hard to swatch. Girl, what's the tea? Vroom vroom. Can't remember the name of it. Custom Rims. So that is the next 2 rows of the palette. Lord, look at that glitter shine. What do you think of these 2 rows? I'll actually be wiping the makeup off that I've got on immediately after filming, so I can let you know if it stains my eyes. Okay, last row. We've got Glam Rapids, Wake and Bake, Nate, Drive Through. I could literally be swatching the Alien palette right now. Like, I know if you put them side by side it wouldn't be exactly the same, but that just looks like Alien, that last shade. Then Hi Dude and Fast Lane. That's a really good black. That just does kind of look like Alien, no? That is the final row of the palette. What do you think about that? The shade, I don't know if it's picking up its actual beauty. So yeah, there's quite a lot of like shadow now on top. But again, I don't mind kick up and all that kind of jazz as long as the shadows actually perform well on my eyes. So let us now piss off and finally move into putting this palette on my eyes. So I will bid thee all farewell and probably just do one last check-in at the end just to show you if it has stained or not. Okay, bye. So I know I probably sound like a broken record, but I'm going to use my Revlon Candid Concealer to prime my eyes because, well, prime this eye. It's just such a good concealer. It's really hydrating, medium coverage, and I find shadows just go really nicely over the top. The first brush I'm taking is this flat one here. The biggest flat one is called the JS11. And actually I really enjoyed using it. I didn't think I would. The first shade I'm going to use is this deep, what is it, terracotta burgundy called Calabasas. I'm not going to describe the names of the shades from now on. Just look at them. And the shape I'm going to do is the shape that I've been playing with a lot on my eyes recently, and I feel like once I've got my lashes on it really opens up my eyes and makes them much bigger. So I'm going to start stamping this on the outer corner. And I'm just doing like a rounded shape. I do have hooded eyes, so if I open them up and look at you like straight on, they are pretty hooded. They're not like the worst of hoods, but they're pretty hooded. So I open my eye up so that I look like a creep and stamp it above the crease. So I love these flat brushes. It just stamps it on exactly where you want it. I have to say as well, just like pressing this on the skin, it's like a weird kind of sensation. It just feels so smooth and buttery, and it's just got such a even pigment. Like I just press very gently there, but if you've got plenty of product on your brush and you just pat it on, like it's just so even, and it even just looks really smooth. I think it's weird. I'll take that a little bit just on the outer corner. I would say light to medium powderiness in the pan. It's not majorly kickbacky, but it definitely has kickback. But nothing that I would moan about. I never moan about kickback anyway. As long as I've got a nice pigment from a shadow, I don't care. So now I've got that on, the second brush that I'm going to pick up is called the JS6. This is a really kind of weird shape. It's quite fluffy and it's very soft, all of them are. But it's like kind of tapered and it's quite, can I show you, quite narrow at the tip. Anyway, it's quite weird. And I didn't actually think I would like it, but having used it now on the other eye, I really like it. I'm just going to soften up the edges of this. Sorry, I'm just trying to be thorough about the brushes as well as the palette, because quite often I'll forget to talk about my brushes. But yeah, it's not a brush I was expecting to like, and I think just because it's really soft and tapered, I feel like I've just got quite a lot of precision, but I can also like bang a lot of colour on at one time if I want to. So that softens up really nicely without going patchy, which is fabulous. And then the next brush I'm taking is JS12, which is this like kind of mini blending brush. It was slightly more firm than I was anticipating. Like, it's very soft but firm. Let me show you, for example. This is my favourite Morphe brush, the M506, which is shorter but also way more kind of flexible. This is slightly more firm, but it has worked really well for me today. I'm going to go in with this purple called Mogul. It's really round at the tip. Anyway, I'm going to now blend around, what was it, Calabasas with Mogul. I'm trying to keep most of the height of these dark shades on this very outer corner. Really lifts my eye shape. This one has a lot more fine kick up in the pan than Calabasas had. And just having it on the side of the brush there, I'm just gonna drag it a little bit just here, just to kind of start that blend. Anyway, I'm then gonna I've got a makeup towel if you're new around here, and I'm just gonna wipe off most of that pigment on it. I don't have a makeup switch. I really wish I did, and I need to get one. So same brush in the shade Self-Made. Lovely, nice pink. Not a lot of kick up on this shade. I would say much less than the previous purple shade I just used. Just going in tiny circular motions all the way around. So then I'm going in with the first big proper standard fluffy brush. This is JS5, and we're gonna go in with the shade Back, and this is just gonna get swished around above that bright pink. Right, so this is where I then picked up a brush that isn't part of the set. It's only because I didn't want to cover this little blending brush with the next shade that I'm going in with, or I would have used that on any normal day, but I didn't want to kind of ruin it because I wouldn't have been able to use it again. So now I'm going in with the shade Fast Lane, which is the black. Very soft, very pigmented, which you'll see. I'm actually using a Crown C528 brush, and this is going to go, look how pigmented that is, by the way. That is a high-end black. It's not even going over a wet base, it's going over a base that's got shadows on it. There we go, so that's showing above my crease. And then I'm going to go back in with JS6 and the first shade that I used, which was Calabasas, and just blend out the edges of the black. Just adds such a lovely amount of depth. It doesn't really take away from the look, it doesn't overpower it. This is where this brush just really shines. It's so nice and so soft. Is this a brand new brush, or is this like part of Morphe's permanent collection? Because I would honestly buy 2 more. Just like I have 2 M514s, M514? Yeah, and 2 M506s, 3 M506s. I love having multiples of the same brush if it's great. And then back in with the JS12 and a bit more of Mogul. That word just makes me think of Simon Cowell though, not necessarily Jeffree Star. Do Americans know who Simon Cowell is? I will say, just at this point, you could do everything that I'm doing with the Blood Sugar palette so far. I watched Beauty News and apparently there is no like repeat shades. It's like none of these actually match what palettes he has in his collection, but I mean it's so similar, these lovely pinks and purples and burgundies that I'm using, that, you know, you wouldn't really know. But Blood Sugar doesn't have a black in it. And back in with the Fatty JS5 and back. Alright then, let's just get on with the interesting bit. I'm just gonna use that Zoeva brush. It's just got a bit of concealer left on it. I'm gonna take this smaller flat brush, the JS10. So this one is much smaller. Where are you? That is the first one I was using, and that's the JS10. So same thing, just a bit smaller. And I'm picking up this gorgeous pink champagne called 2, T-O. This is a really interesting formula. It picks up really well but quite chunky on the brush, almost like it's wet, and it applies almost like you've wet it. I'm using this completely dry but just over a kind of still wet base. It's kind of like a Colourpop, what's it called, what are they called, Super Shock shadow, but more dry. But yeah, it's reminding me of that kind of formula. It's not really like something I've seen from Morphe in the past, to be honest. It's kind of like I can feel just little bits of it falling off on my face and like down my chest. It's not bothering me in the slightest, just tiny particles, but it's really bizarre in a good way. It seems like honestly like a high-end formula. You know how ABH can make those really wet, beautiful metallics? It's kind of like that. Not the same as the middle row in the 39S, such a gem, they're different. I'm just trying to tell you, basically, it's a very special kind of formula. Like, this is dry. Usually I wet metallics because I have to. You could probably wet this, don't need to though. Oh, it's such a beautiful colour. Let's now go in with this shade here called Honest Truth, which is a lovely light peach. Sorry, I'm watching the show jumping. Just forcibly wiped my JS13 to use this, and this is gonna get sandwiched in between that lovely sparkle, and this pink is gonna help really blend it out. Super nice. Super. And then I'm gonna go back into Self-Made, which is that very bright pink, same brush, and just apply that a bit more here because I just want more bright pink. Life is better when you got lots of pink in it. What I did on the other eye as well was pick up 2 on my finger. And I just kind of pressed it over my blending, because it kind of just pops down little sparkly bits, and then you can be a bit lazy and everything looks more blended. Trick of the trade there. It's not really. I'm not in the trade. Honestly, just so I use all these brushes, I'm using the JS9, picking up that same sparkly pink. Why is this one already getting a little bit misshapen? This one's, yeah, kind of the worst of the bunch in terms of looks. And I'm just gonna wiggle this around at the front just so I've not got a harsh line. Next brush, this is the JS7. Clearly an eyebrow brush. It's not precise enough for me to be an eyebrow brush, but I'm going to use this angled side and pick up more Vaseline, which is the black, and I'm going to press that all along. So when I go in with my lashes later on, bish bash bosh, looks like I put them on right. And then I picked up, what shade did I pick up? I have no idea. So I'm gonna pick up Calabasas on this inner part and just put a bit there. And a smidgen of Self-Made. I think that's it for now. I did pick up the shade Welcome. This shade here, Welcome. And just like on the other eye, I'll just put this on the inner corner. I mean, that looks face tuned, quite frankly. But I might revisit that later and put on the gold glitter. I'm not sure, but it's tempting. So I'm gonna run away, clean up my fallout, which isn't that bad, but I would never do this kind of eyeshadow look using blacks and deep colors with my base on. Clean up the fallout, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line. And obviously, as you've seen, we'll do it contrasting so it's not entirely the same, and we'll use other colors as well. But I mean, I just think that is really pretty. Not far was my fingers on my table. I just think those colors are so pretty. I completely forgot I had the sponges as well. So here you can see I'm applying my Catrice Liquid HD foundation, which, by the way, side note, bomb. And I'm using the large sponge out of the 3. It doesn't grow that much when you wet it, and it is really firm. I do not like this sponge at all. I should have realised I wouldn't when I didn't like the red one that is the same shape, but I really like the red one that's rounded. It's weird, I just don't think it's very soft and squishy. It's not at all like the Beauty Blender kind of, not consistency or formula, fabric. You know what I mean. It's not my favourite sponge, but saying that, it got my foundation blended out, looks fine, no issues there, but it is not very soft at all. Right, let's get this under eye on. My base is on. By the way, my highlight, just so you know, is the shade, ow, scratched myself in the chin, Designer Label, as a highlight. And it's absolutely, I would say it's like Benefit Cookie. Not as beautiful, but it's very beautiful, and it doesn't give me a cast, I don't think. Kind of, slightly. Everything does. Anyway, under eye. Wake and Bake. I had a flatmate once that was, well, that did that. I was gonna say an avid, I don't want to get demonetized. She liked that. Even though it's not legal here in Scotland, so I should have called the police, but I didn't. Snitches get stitches. I feel like this would definitely go on more pigmented if my base was wet, which it isn't. My base is completely set. Like my under eyes are baked completely. So I do feel like this would probably be more pigmented if I hadn't done that. And a more dense brush. This is quite a floppy brush, so it's not giving me much. By the way, that's just a Morphe, that was in the Grandmaster set. I don't really have any brushes left from the set I was using to do my under eyes. Then, probably one of the most beautiful shades I've ever seen in my life is Drive Through. You've already seen the swatch. I was going to swatch it there. No. Now, I am using this wet purely because I've already got my base on and I don't want it to fall out all over my base. This is just some Art Deco spray. But also, I mean, metallics are more beautiful when they're wet. Any metallic, sorry. I just can't describe the beauty of this shade. It's obviously an olive green, but it's got a real gold shift to it, and it is, I am going to put this, I'm going to smother it all over my eyelid at some point. I just re-wet it and you can see it just goes on more like molten metal. And just to jazz it up even more, I'm going to use what I've got on my bank account, the shade Millions. I'm going to press this at the front. A little bit kind of goes places. I don't really care. I would bathe in glitter if I could. Just quickly, I'm using this Marc Jacobs liner in Raw Cocoa. I don't know if that's what it's actually pronounced as. It's a brown. I actually did green originally, but brown looks so much nicer. And last step, a little bit more of the black, what's it called? Vaseline. I read that's Flashbang on this very outer corner. Just to tie in with the black that's going on up here. And I like my outer corners to be very deep. Have I got enough on? No. Great stuff. So I'll go through on, it's so windy outside. I'm gonna go through on some lower lash mascara, and then I'll show you the eyes up close and also just get rid of all the powder and stuff that's in my lashes. And then I'll give you my final thoughts. See you in a moment. I've just finished off with Jeffree Star Eye Nude Velour Liquid Lipstick. It's one of my favourite nudes. Anyway, there's one more product to try. I'm so excited. I've genuinely had this for, what, 3 days now? 3 days or 4 days since the day after it came out, and I've not sprayed it. I have not sprayed it, and I'm really excited. So let's give it the first sniff test. Oh, I don't like it. It's got like a really nice initial like strawberry kind of scent, like fake strawberry, but strawberry. But then it like fades to something that smells like, I can only describe it as like trash. Like, you know when your bin needs to be taken out and you're like, mate, can you just take the bin out because it's smelling up the kitchen? It's not that bad, but it's really, it does not smell nice. Anyway, let's use it. I've got this far. And I love this spray on it, I love the mist. I just hate the smell. It seems, what a shame. Love the can, the pink can. Yeah, the smell disappears after like 0.005 seconds. I don't know how much time that is, but very quickly. This was £18, so it was more expensive than the original one, and I love the original one. I actually prefer the smell on the original one than on this. I don't like that. That is such a shame. but I'll use it up because it was expensive, and it's pink and I like the mist, but by golly, that doesn't smell very nice. Okay, so starting with the palette, because I feel like that's the main thing, and also probably what most people bought out of the collection if they bought anything. From what I've used of the palette, which is, how many shades? Let me just make sure. 13 out of 30, that's not that bad. The 13 that I used were really good quality, and I loved them, and I have no complaints. Not about one, not one that I used. Maybe potentially Wake and Bake, but I'll need to test that over a wet base. But I mean, even on a dry base, it went on fine. I just would have wanted more from it had I not been covering it up anyway. But honestly, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Even that shade Designer Label as a highlight really suits my pale skin tone. Maybe put a bit much on my nose, but anyway. Yeah, I really like this palette. Would recommend, 100%, 100%. If it's still in stock, would recommend. You could do like a brownie, greyish, brownish, silverish, murky, kind of, what's that word, grungy look. You could do bright pink like I've done, really soft and peach. You could do that. You could just use a wash of gold over your lid if you can do that. And the shade Millions, I do feel like I don't really love pressed glitters, especially in palettes, because they do tend to get super messy, but I really liked it on my eyes. I would have preferred if that was just a really beautiful gold eyeshadow, but you know, I can't have everything I want. It's got the really nice big mirror. It's actually a really good size. I don't have a bra on. I think it's great. Packaging, sure, it's not the most luxe packaging, but it's only, what, how much was it, £35? I'll correct myself on screen. And I like the holographicness, and it's also not massive. Like, it is not huge compared to the size of my head. Like, Morphe palettes are ginormous, but I really like it, and yes, I would recommend this 100%. If I move on to the brushes, first of all, I do think this case looks super cheap. I don't like the shiny pinkness, even though pink's my favourite colour, but, oh, and it smells literally like I'm probably gonna get radiation from it, but I like that it's long enough and big enough to store a lot of brushes in, especially if you're going travelling or just overnight somewhere. I hate putting my brushes in my makeup bags because they always get squashed and ruined. This is a nice long case for storing your brushes. The brushes themselves, I actually was pleasantly surprised. When these arrived, I did take them out of obviously all the individual little plastic, what are they called, just the plastic sleeves they're in, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like them. I think I'm gonna really regret this purchase, because these were £40. Are they more expensive than the palette? That kind of makes sense. Anyway, £40, I was like, probably not gonna use most of these brushes ever, but I can say for sure 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 5, 6, 7, did I use that brush yet? 7, 8. 8 of the 10 I will 100% use. These two, I can give or take these brushes. I have plenty of like spoolie eyebrow brushes, and this one is not precise enough, but it worked for the purpose that I used it today, and the spoolie is always handy as well. The liner brush is fine. It looks precise enough. I'll need to test it with actual liner and see, but actually, yeah, 8 out of 10 really would use. And Morphe brushes, in my opinion, are some of the best brushes I've tried. Now, I've not tried like the likes of like Haku Hodo or anything, or like Wayne Goss, but I really like Morphe, Zoeva, Blank Canvas. I'm just gonna say Real Techniques only for their face brushes. So I love Morphe brushes anyway, and these were pleasantly really good. I do think they look a little cheap, a little kind of tacky. It's kind of the theme throughout, but I like them. I really like them. They're definitely going to be well used in my makeup kit. And then the sponges, mine are now a little manky. Sponges are a no for me, wouldn't recommend, just because I rarely use sponges this little. I do like them for carving out like my nose contour, or if I'm like trying to be super precise under a wing, they're handy, but I use that like once in a blue moon. I'll bother. And the big one is just too firm. It's not nice and soft and super squishy, so I would pass on the sponges personally. And I wasn't actually going to get the sponges, but I thought, you're on a no buy now till 2020, so you might as well just go wild and buy the whole thing. And then this is probably the biggest letdown for me. I'm glad this wasn't the biggest letdown for me, but this smells not very nice at all. You see, once that initial nice smell wears off, which is like instantaneously, this smells disgusting, like disgusting. I want to get Hamish to smell it 1 second. Spray that a little bit in the air in front of you and tell me what you think of the smell. Let's get closer than that. You like it? Not like it? It's complete. I mean, your thoughts.
Are you asking me if I like it or not?
I'm just saying, do you like the smell? Do you think it's nice? You just ate that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like pink air. Pink air.
I said it smelled like bin juice.
Doesn't smell like bin juice.
Like, spray it again.
Oh man, it's not gonna be good for me.
Just spray it in front of you, not up your nose. You see, once the initial smell wears off, do you not think it smells weird?
Jeffree Star bin juice. No. No, I don't mind it.
There you go, that's two different people's opinion in my household. Hamish likes it, I don't. Take that with a pinch. What? Take that however you will. So, in conclusion, I would say I've had a pretty high success rate, 50%. It's pretty good in the world of makeup when most of it is mass-produced trash at this point. So I'm really pleased, especially with the palette. I'm gonna do a like grungy green look, and that's all that I've got planned so far. But yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think of this eye look down below? I mean, not necessarily the look. My makeup tends to not be everybody's cup of tea, but what do you think about how it applied? Do you think it looked good or patchy? What do you think? I thought it went on really well, but that's just me. So yeah, that's it from me today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, it would really super massively help me out if you would give it a big thumbs up. Also leave me a comment down below, because I do reply to each and every single comment. And subscribe, because it's just a polite thing to do, and the internet's not a very nice place. I want to say a huge massive thank you to my Patreons. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive to me after my Patreon only video, and also thank you for being able to support me in a financial way on my channel. It really helps after losing my job due to my health, and you guys are just basically awesome. And to be honest, everyone that watches and subscribes is awesome, but you guys know that you are doing a little thing extra to really help me out and my channel. If you can't or don't want to be a Patreon, don't worry about it. It is just purely optional, and just by watching, commenting, liking, all of that jazz, you're doing me a great help. But if you do want to sign up, the link's down below in the description box. And that's it. I'm gonna go away, maybe take a couple of photos of my makeup and go to bed, basically. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that I will catch you on the flip side. Bye everyone! So I said I would check in one last time just to see if the eyeshadow's stained. I'm just using this Garnier micellar oil infused micellar water, because I didn't want to use my Posh one that I know removes staining. I wouldn't say it's stained that badly at all. This bit here that looks really red, that's just how my eyes get, and under here. I would say maybe a pinch of discoloration up here that is definitely not usually there. Like, that is where I put the deepest colours, isn't it? So it's definitely stained a little bit. It's something though, if it really bothers you, get, where is it? Get the SVR micellar water. This is the one I said that's really good at removing stains. I trust that with my life. or just put a bit of concealer over it. I mean, this would cover up tomorrow if I put on even just a tiny bit of makeup. So yeah, not bad at all, is it? Anyway, now I really am gonna piss off.